Maythorn Monthly. It's the Maythorn Monthly. Maythorn Monthly. It's the Maythorn Monthly.
Travel Lodge. We're staying here. Neo 2 drone. I brought it with me. Windy. Can't use it. It's only a little drone. I'm not losing another one to the weather. So we had it here. The thought counts. And now we're going for a walk, or perhaps we'll get blown along.
Leaving the Travel Lodge, it's a leisurely 1 kilometre walk along to the central bus station, which is on the dock road, very handy, and we get the bus to Denia. Alicante bus station has all the ticket offices and machines and the cafe up on the first floor, so you can look down over the bus area. Most of the local bus services are ALSA, so the queues are at the ALSA machine, and I really don't know what all those other bus companies that have got little offices here do and where they go. The map shows the route we're about to take. The bus takes 1.5 to 2 hours, depending, and you can follow this route on the bus itself, because on every seat there is a screen, various things you can bring up on the screen, entertainment included. We're only taking a short trip to Denia. It's a couple of hours that we'll spend here, having a look round at the various things, including this rather old, I think, is that a baby Austin in the window there? So Denia has a port, quite a large marina. There's a castle up on the hill. We've been to that before and haven't got time to go up there again today. And there are hotels along the front which can give you some good views. So it is a place that I recommend you stay over, and I'm sure that we'll try and do that another time. And as we make our way through these back streets, we see all sorts of interesting things, but the most interesting one is the pint of lager. Oh, and the red wine for Ruth, of course. There are boat trips out of Denia, and there's a ferry that goes to Ibiza, so if you're staying here, there's a few things you can be doing. There's a tram all the way between Alicante and Denia, but it takes about 4 hours, so we went halfway back on the tram and changed onto the bus at Benidorm bus station. The final place we see in Alicante is, of course, the airport just before we leave. An interesting story, on the day we flew out from Liverpool, I had a ping from my Wetherspoon app saying, "Great news, today Wetherspoons has opened its first ever pub in Spain." So I looked at the app thinking, I wonder where it is. It was at Alicante Airport, but it's on the return side, so we didn't get to see it until we were travelling back. You can see it from the outside when the bus drops you off, but you have to go through security and through passport control to get into the area where you can actually have your breakfast. And we were getting an early flight back, so we had a Wetherspoons breakfast. Bit boring really, you don't go to a foreign country to have an English breakfast, but hey ho. The airport's very nice. I love Alicante Airport. It's got a lot better seating than many airports, and it's more spacious. They even give you books to read. Well, there's an old-fashioned concept. One of the first things that we did when we came back into Liverpool was celebrate the Chinese New Year. Now, we weren't in time to see the processions and some of the events that we've seen in the past, but look at this. It was one of the most crowded city centres we've ever seen for Chinese New Year, and we roved around with the camera catching all the people. As with so many things in Liverpool city centre, the atmosphere was fantastic, the people are always great, so happy Chinese New Year for the Year of the Horse. And finally, we wanted somewhere less crowded to have our late lunch, and so we wandered down to the Albert Dock and relaxed there for a bit. It's sunny and the blossoms out as I leave my home on the Wirral and catch one of the 3 buses that all come at once. Heading down to the station, I take the Underground over to Liverpool, and Lime Street Underground comes out under St George's Hall. Just across the road from St George's Hall is Lime Street Station, the old building, and the domed frontage that most people recognise. While standing on the steps at St George's Hall, if I look over to the right, I can see the Liver buildings in the distance down at the pier head, and if I look down, I'm looking on the Queen Square bus station. There are also some very pleasant gardens behind St George's Hall.
Today we are taking a train trip to the Roman city of York to visit the Railway Museum. It is some years since we have visited this place, and we have heard that the 200th anniversary of the railways has meant some new exhibits. Let's board the Transpennine service to York via Leeds.
We show you our homeland, but not in the rain. Our trips are all sunny, by bus or by train. We've asked you before, please don't look forlorn. Whether real or invented, it's magic Maythorn. It's magic with Maythorn. It's magic with Maythorn. Please keep watching our show.
We seem to be clear of the worst of the delays and cancellations that the Transpennine route upgrade has caused, and smoothly into Leeds we go, but the train I'm on isn't going to go via York, so I change onto a Scarborough train from there. And we're now on the East Coast Main Line, which features, amongst other trains, a fleet of LNER Azumas running north-south on the East Coast Main Line. If you've never been to the National Railway Museum, then I can assure you it's extremely well signposted, but it's nowhere near as easy to get into as it used to be. If you look at the map and see where the railway line is, and see that the "You Are Here" is right by the Great Hall, you might think you can get in right there. As the map shows, you now have to walk round the outside of the whole site to get to the entrance, which is back where we started from. This is the new walkway and cycle path going alongside the station hall, and then when you get to the end you can turn right to go around the end of the site, and you look back and you can see the station hall in the distance. You keep following the signs, you go past the miniature railway and past the huge car park. It'll cost you £10 a day to park there, but the exhibition itself is free. Once you get through into the Grand Hall, you can go out onto the veranda and look across to the railway station, seeing just how close it is considering how far you've just walked. All around the museum site you see these signs that say a transformation is in progress. Apparently it's going to take another 2 years. We've got a very quick transformation now from an old engine driver to a new train driver. How things have changed.
2 centuries ago, the first trains rumbled into the world and changed it forever. Today, the story rolls on, smoke in the air, steel on steel, and memories in every mile.
Wow, that little speech was totally unexpected. I didn't write it, the AI just came out and said it.
As we enter the main hall of the museum, we see the gates from Euston Station, extremely well preserved. But then I have to say that everything in this museum is so wonderfully shiny and new that it's hard to imagine that it's actually 50, 60, 100 or whatever years old. It seems that people come from all over the world to this museum, and in particular the Japanese bullet train that's here attracted quite a lot of foreign visitors. And when I was on the train this time, all the girls on board were speaking Spanish. During our tour today, we see the technology-packed Eurostar in its natural habitat. There's a cross-section of the Channel Tunnel, and of course one of the machines there as well. There's all these iconic engines, including the Mallard, the Duchess of Hamilton, and an Intercity 125. The Great Hall was originally engine shed number 4. There were 9 in York. It was built in 1877, and it was used to house and prepare steam locomotives for the main line. But in April 1942, along with York Station, it was badly damaged in a German air raid. This hall was repaired, but many of the 9 weren't quite so lucky. I had a quick browse around the souvenir shop, and then I spotted a cafe in the distance, so I headed in that general direction, but of course there was a lot more to see before I got my cup of coffee. There was only one exhibit that wasn't sort of brand new looking and shiny, and this was it, but it didn't really matter, it's authentic.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah. Rain on the glass of the old museum, maps on the walls, kids drift and dream. You sketch Monet on a napkin edge, I stir your laugh with my spoon instead. Pour me another cup of coffee, let it warm my restless hands. Every little sip, it softens all the things I never planned. Pour me another cup of coffee, let it slow this world right down. Every corner of this city tastes better when you're around.
This was my whole life.
Quite a lot of traditional signalling remains on Britain's railways, although it's gradually being phased out, and even the system that was introduced after that is being phased out because we're adopting a new European system which works between the trains themselves. All very high tech.
As you can see, this coupling mechanism allows the carriages to link securely. Quite ingenious, what?
Indeed, it looks terribly heavy. After centuries of silence, the stone breathes again. Listen closely.
Well, this is quite a train set. I don't think I'll ever have anything like this. This layout is actually bigger than our entire flat. Never mind, it's not going to happen. I'll go and visit other people's, and in the meantime, I'll put the kettle on.
Pour me another cup of coffee. Let it warm my restless hands. Every little sip it softens all the things I never planned. Pour me another cup of coffee. From the park to the busy town, every corner of this journey tastes better when you're around. Tastes better when you're around.
The station hall differs from the main hall in that it has platforms. It is laid out as a station still, and it has a central platform where there are actual cafes that are in full service. The advantage of having trains in the station hall at platform level is that you can see into them. So there are various things to be looked at here. Some of the Royal trains are here, not always lit inside, but you can peer in and you can get an idea of what they were like. Some of them are apparently open on certain days. You can see into what was actually a Royal Mail sorting office, which used to move between cities with the people sorting as they went. And there are special nets to catch mail bags on the outside, so they didn't have to stop. There is also what you might call a restaurant car, which serves afternoon teas at certain times on certain days. And although there was no food on offer when I was there, you could see the tables were all laid out ready.
You imagine a fairy or a goblin or two. Your mind can imagine what is special for you. We show you our homeland, but not in the rain. Our trips are all sunny, by bus or by train. We've asked you before, please don't look forlorn, whether real or invented. It's magic Maythorn. It's magic with Maythorn. Please keep watching our show. Please keep watching our show.
Now here's the thing, you've been walking around these two large halls for the last few hours, your feet are worn out, and suddenly you've got to go because the place is closing, and you're faced with that walk back right round the edge of the site to get back to the station. Although you just saw a road train, I didn't realise by hanging there to film it that I was actually missing the last ride back. Had a few hours to spare when I got back into town, so I had the choice of taking a bus ride, a ghost bus ride in fact. This old route master would take me on that, but it was tea time and I wanted to go and get a meal, so I headed straight into the city and found the nearest Wetherspoon. Back at York Station and waiting for my Transpennine train home, I spotted this Grand Central going north up towards Scotland. And that's my train trip to York for the day. Here's the part of the journey that I missed out last time on our trip to York. Having got one of those 3 buses, we go down to Hamilton Square Station, go down in the underground, and from there you get one of Merseyrail's class 777s, which run the whole fleet now, and you go over to Liverpool. And I did say when you got to Liverpool Lime Street you came up under St George's Hall, but you don't have to. You can carry on underground and come up in Lime Street's mainline station itself.
And a feature on the main concourse that I tend to just walk past is a kind of pick and mix, some of which I don't even recognise, and I'm quite a foodie. From Lime Street, you take a train to Manchester Oxford Road, and from Oxford Road you can walk along the Rochdale Canal to get to the museum I'm visiting today.
Puddles hold pieces of the sky, steel in my pocket, tearing my eye. Oh, Manchester, you're the ache and the bomb, redstone heart with a worker's comp, cotton in the air, smoke in the seams. You turn hard days into soft dreams. Oh, Manchester, you fit like a song, crooked and kind with my arm, crooked and kind where I belong. Yeah, walk through the doors where the engines sleep, iron and brass that shoulder deep.
This is Oxford Street Lock in Manchester on the, I think it's called the Rochdale Ship Canal. And I've been walking along here between the Science Museum and Oxford Road Station. And some interesting things to see along the way. Lots of locks, no boats. Perhaps they don't come this way. The museum itself, the second museum I've seen this month that's undergoing huge renovations, and a lot of it's closed off. Still worth seeing, so let's go down to the Manchester Science and Industry Museum to give it its full title.
Manchester, you're the ache and the bomb, redstone heart with the workers' comp, cotton in the air, smoke in the seams. You turn hard days into soft dreams.
Lots of historical machinery here, including line typing machines that used to produce the text for books and magazines and newspapers. Many of the buildings here are closed off for renovation. There is a large courtyard in the middle of it all, and it was a reasonably sunny day and we were able to sit out and enjoy the weather. You can peer through at some of the renovations that are going on, and it's not a renovation, it's a revolution.
In the rafters, threads in the drains, card in room, shuttle fly and spin, stories woven in the dust on skin. Hands grew rough on a factory floor, packed in tight by the loading door. Still in the bricks you can hear that hum, live stitched tight so the world could run. From the loom room gloom to the canal slow, light from so dark noon to a soft blue night. Every scar this city wears feels a little like my own old
So,
friend.
what's in the power hall? Well, there's a Bayer Garrett South African Railways locomotive. There's various other old boilers, shall we say. There's an Isle of Man Railway locomotive called Panda, a Vulcan steam locomotive. There's various steam engines. There's a carriage from the Manchester and Birmingham Railway. There's a grasshopper engine, a reproduction of the 1830 Planet steam locomotive. There's various steam engines and gas engines here, and you can also see how they generate the power for the museum itself. It's all self-contained.
Oh, Manchester, you're the ache and the bomb, redstone heart with a worker's comp, cotton in the air, smoke in the seams. You turn hard days into soft dreams. Oh, Manchester, you fit like a song, crooked and kind with my arm, crooked and kind where I belong. Yeah, walk through the doors where the engines sleep, iron and brass stack shoulder deeper, names on the plates worn by the years, echo of pistons still in my ears.
The sustainable heating system works by pumping natural water from deep underground, and it's pumped into the museum, passed through special heat pumps, and they gently warm the building.
Kids press their hands to the rail, wide eyes, watching old power learn new life. Oh, Manchester, you're the ache and the bomb, redstone heart with a worker's comp, cotton in the air, smoke in the seams. You turn hard days into soft dreams. Oh, Manchester, you fit like a song, crooked and kind where I belong, crooked and kind where I belong. Yeah.
Being retired, I do tend to tour museums and such places midweek when there's not that many people about. But maybe you will have noticed that there are school parties, because they're the main customers of this kind of thing during the week.
Those mills with the broken panes, rain in the rafters, threads in the drains, card in room, shuttle fly and spin, stories woven in the dust on skin.
It's starting to get busy now, so we're going for a wander back into the main part of the museum and through the museum shop where lots of souvenirs can be bought. And as you come out of the shop, you're in the cafe, which means it's time for a coffee break. We'll be back in a few minutes with a little more of the museum tour.
Rain on the glass of the old museum, maps on the walls, kids drift and dream. You sketch Monet on a napkin edge, I stir your laugh with my spoon instead. Pour me another cup of coffee, let it warm my restless hands. Every little sip, it softens all the things I never planned. Pour me another cup of coffee, let it slow this world right down. Every corner of this city tastes better when you're around. Corner cafe on a crooked street, traffic hum, tapping shoes on beat. You trace names in the sugar spills, I taste hope in the windowsill. Pour me another cup of coffee, let it warm my restless hands. Every little sip, it softens all the things I never planned. Pour me another cup of coffee, let it slow this world right down. Every corner of this city tastes better when you're around. Market square tables, shaky chair legs, train aisle clatter, sunrise from the edge. Crowds in a maze of them on a sale day, park bench steam where the children play, street side van with the radio low. Every small stop is a place we go. Hey! Pour me another cup of coffee, let it warm my restless hands. Every little sip, it softens all the things I never planned. Pour me another cup of coffee, from the park to the busy town. Every corner of this journey tastes better when you're around.
There's a sort of teach yourself science thing going on up on the first floor, mainly for kids. And the other part of the museum that's worth a look is all about the cotton industry, the textile industry, and of course Lancashire was very big in that particular field.
See those mills with the broken panes, rain in the rafters, threads in the drains, card in room, shuttle fly and spin, stories woven in the dust on skin. Hands grew rough on a factory floor, packed in tight by the loading door. Still in the bricks you can hear that hum, live stitched tight so the world could run from the loom.
Well, I almost forgot to celebrate St. Patrick's Day this month, and so I think our final cup of coffee has got to be at an Irish bar. See you soon. Welcome to AI Corner. Is this the year of the cat?
Observe, my dear, this curious creation, a most implausible concatenation of pixels, prompts, encoded incantation, conspiring into cinematic fact. A tiger in a tux on a trapeze line, a boardroom run by mollusks sipping cheap wine, a breakfast scene on Mars at 1:30 bedtime, and naturally a levitating cat in slacks. A flying cat, one fancy that, it pirouettes above your habitat in velvet boots, some feathered hat, exciting taxel or somewhat flat. How tragic a flying cat. Go render that and give it wings of Persian rug and tinsel. You blink, it sings in 12 parts Latin madrigal. The mind says stop, the frames say more. It's all so perfectly impractical. We conjure chefs composed of shredded lettuce. They hooks to show on how your data fed us. An elevator climbing into meta credits, where extras argue with the narrator's script. We stage the fall of Rome in neon pastels, with senators as sentient doorbells. They ring to Pathlon parallel hells, while dragons film it all on selfie sticks. A flying cat, a fancy that, now doing couples therapy for bats. It takes their notes, then promptly scat. Same scat on office chairs that orbit like a planet. A flying cat will color grade that with sunbeam lens flares, existential filters. It waltzes through a slideshow of your teenage fears, then curtsies coy to shattered toys and quietly adjusts its hover gears. We splice your doubts with dance routines, turn awkward dreams to glossy scenes. Your ex appears with chandelier ears, debating Kierkegaard with sentient beings. A courtroom staffed by papier-mâché judges who pass decrees on algorithmic grudges. The jury made of mirror shrugs and smudges, and still you'll click, enhance, proceed, next scene. The flying cat will fancy that, now choreographing thunderstorms and flats, conducting clouds like anxious acrobats who juggle every rule you'd find was static. A flying cat will loop, cut that till troop and jest are seamlessly united. You ask what's real, the timeline only smiles and shrugs. Depends which frame you choose to claim, that adds more sparkle just to keep you excited.
So I've been making music videos this month, and the first thing I need to establish is consistent characters. The video clips you've just seen, they're different every time you go to the AI, and I don't always use the same AI anyway, so if I ask for a cat, I don't get the same cat every time, I get a different one. The way around that is to create the characters first. This is one I prepared earlier. It's a fairy tale princess. I created her in an AI, but she was still a cartoon character, and I wanted to bring her to life in my videos, so the next thing to ask was, please morph my princess into a real human-looking being. So I created a princess and half a dozen other characters that I wanted to use throughout the next month, and then I went into OpenArt to create the next music video. The first stage is to ask the AI to put your character into a scene, and my scene is by the lake with the castle on the hill, as you may have noticed, and then we move over to making a video from that image. For the purposes of speed, I let OpenArt add a couple of characters of its own, and so I don't know really who they are. That screen was the storyboarding. This screen is the timeline. If you've done any video editing, you'll recognize this approach. And finally, you submit your project to be rendered, never really being sure how it's going to end up, but having complete faith in the AI, this is what we got.
Bare feet on the silver stones, I'm slipping from the palace lawn. Morning mist on my borrowed crown. As I dive, I'm gone, I'm gone, I'm gone. Cool blue world, a laughing face, golden hair in a ring of pearls. She takes my hand in the water sway. We're sisters now, she twirls. pebbles talking to the breeze. Sunlight tracing his tangled hair, I pretend he's talking back to me. Then a shimmer in the hazy air, tiny wings and a wicked grin. Little spark says a secret word and the spell pulls him in. I'm spellbound by the lakeshore, heart beating like the waves do. He's laughing where the wild reeds grow. I'm rising from the deep blue. Mermaid claps at the water's edge, we're singing as the lilies shine. I've fallen under something sweet, and love feels like a tide tonight. Did the magic choose us, or did we choose it first? When I wished on drifting petals for a hand to hold this thirst. Now he's calling out my name like he's known it all his life, and the world turns soft and shining as he steps into my life. I'm spellbound by the lakeshore, heart beating like the waves do. He's running through the wild reeds, now I'm waiting in the clear blue. Mermaid hums us a blessing as her fingers slowly intertwine. I've fallen under something sweet in a fairy spun, forever kind. I'm spellbound by the lakeshore, where the water sings his name with
All the tools for creating the consistent characters are in OpenArt, and their demo character that they show you here, called Vex, is created as a cartoon character. They then show you that they can make her do all sorts of things. Basically, you just put some instructions in, and you can put the AI into all sorts of scenery, which of course is what I've already done. As you saw before, I created a princess. We can now make her dispense with the dress and become a modern girl and go about her ordinary everyday modern life. The next consistent character that I created was the Prince Charming. I went through various looks and various modes of dress, and in the end we did get a look. I'm still not sure if it's an exact Prince Charming that I had in my head, but this will do. For this to be a proper fairy story, we needed a fairy, so I created one of those, and she's going to cast a spell on Prince Charming and see what effect that has. To get a little bit of consistency in the storyline, we already showed the princess was heading down towards the lake, so she goes for a swim. We skip the next bit, and joy no end, she's coming out, and guess what? She's come up on the shore where the prince is walking. Apparently the consistency doesn't apply to the clothing. She's got a different colour bikini on in the next shot, and the dress is wrong too. A quick retake of that, and this time I think this is the right dress she's got, but we can keep trying until we get it right. Do they fall in love? Well, I haven't got any more credits this month to let you know, so she's back in the garden now with some garden gnomes and of course my new fairy. So this is how you integrate your consistent characters into some scenery. This is a still photo of Marina d'Or, where we had our apartment for 16 years, and I'm going to introduce a couple of my characters into this, and the scenery will animate even though it wasn't animated in the first place. So we have our princess here down at Marina d'Or, and oh, our mermaid's come back now. That wasn't exactly who I wanted to see right now. Oh, there he is, there's the prince. So he'll walk along the shore and run into... oh, it's Anya. Thought we got rid of Anya, but she's still around. Here's a still photo from outside our block of flats. I took this in 2022. I'm using this to bring our AI characters right back home. There's Anya and the princess again. They seem to get on well. So can the fairy make the prince appear? Can we get this love story going at this point? No. Just the garden gnomes are still around. Back at the lake, we've still got our mermaid. She's not the original mermaid from some of the earlier scenes. I had to make a consistent character so that she at least looked the same most of the time. And we've been able to create some wonderful underwater scenes where she's swimming with the fish. And of course, reality aside, we can actually introduce the princess into this scene. And I'm beginning to wonder if it's the mermaid who holds the key to the magic. So let's explore that for a little while. When they finish their swim, they come out onto a rock. Interesting the way the AI sees that a mermaid should get up onto a rock. We'll follow through with that next month when I've got some more credits, but right now, here's another open art music video. This one I made last month and didn't have time to show.
Oh, my love, my friend, you know, it's been a while without thinking of you, but the thought makes me smile. I'm so tired of wanting more than this. I know it, but what am I to do? I need some space to breathe, so give me some room. Oh, my love, you're coming with me. I know you'll leave me one day. Can you just stay till Monday? The thought makes me smile. I'm so tired of wanting